everyone, I'm Elise from iThemes. I'm here today to bring you some tips on how to troubleshoot your WordPress site. Hopefully you never have to use these tips, but more than likely you're gonna. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is check your WordPress site to make sure that all your plugins, themes, and WordPress itself is all up to date. If you're running older versions of your plugins, themes, or WordPress itself, it can be causing issues on your site. So where do you go to find this information? Finding the WordPress version you're running is just as easy as going to your site's dashboard. You can see right here what version of WordPress you're using. It's right there on your home screen. The version number for all your plugins will show on your plugins page. And for your themes, you'll go to Appearance, Themes, and click on Theme Details. Great, so now you know what versions of everything you have on your site. Now, what do you do with that information? Well, it's more than just knowing what version numbers you're running. It's making sure that you're running the latest versions. So how do you know whether or not you are? For WordPress itself and any plugins or themes you got from the WordPress repo, it's pretty easy. You know that annoying red dot you get whenever you have like a voicemail or a new email on your phone? And for some of us, that's the only reason we check those things. Well, this shows up in your dashboard as well. So you can see here that there are plugins available to update next to the plugins menu. And you'll also see this next to updates for your dashboard. So what about those premium plugins and themes though? Stuff you didn't get from the repo. Now it's going to take a couple more steps, but it's still not real complicated. First, you're going to want to make sure that you've licensed these items. How you license is going to depend on where you got your plugin or theme. But for iThemes products, you'll go to Settings, iThemes Licensing, and here you can enter your iThemes username and password to license or remove a license for your products. Once you have your products licensed, these will also show up on your updates page or on the plugins page if it's a plugin. Great, everything's up to date now, but it's still not working. So this brings us to step number 2, and this is everybody's favorite step, testing for a plugin conflict. Believe me, we all know how tedious testing for a plugin conflict can be, but please, please, please don't skip this step. To test for a plugin conflict, you'll go to your plugins page and deactivate every plugin except for the one that you're having trouble with. Once you've deactivated all your other plugins, go in and test that one plugin again. Is it working now? If so, that means you have a plugin conflict. If not, we'll get to that later. So it does work with all the other plugins deactivated. Now what? Here comes the tedious bit. You're going to need to go into your plugins and reactivate each plugin one at a time. After you've reactivated one plugin, you'll go back to the original plugin and try again. If it continues to work as it should, you have to keep repeating this process until you find the culprit. If there doesn't appear to be any plugin conflicts, you might try testing for a theme conflict as well. To do that, you simply need to go to Appearance, Themes, and temporarily activate one of the WordPress default themes, like 2017. With one of the default themes enabled, you'll then go back and test to see if the issue is still occurring. If not, then the theme isn't the issue. All right, so now you've made sure that all your plugins, themes, and WordPress are up to date. You've checked for a plugin and a theme conflict, and you're still having trouble. So where do you go from here? Now it's time to get a little more technical, but please don't panic. All we're going to do now is take a look at some of our log files. Some plugins create log files of what's happening while the plugin is running. That way they can let you know what the problem is if there is one. So we're going to use Backup Buddy as an example today. So let's say you're running a backup and it's not completing and you don't know what's going on. While you're watching Backup Buddy try to complete your backup, you'll notice that there's a status log tab. You can go here to view what's happening. If something is going wrong, it'll tell you what's happening and even give suggestions on how to correct the issue. Don't understand the log files? No problem. At the bottom of the page, you'll see an option to download your status log file. Once you've downloaded your status log file, you can then attach it to a support ticket where one of your moderators can help you out with whatever issue you're having. So what if none of your plugins create log files? Your next step would be to contact your host and see if they can provide you with an error log file. Okay, so now you've gone through the 3 troubleshooting steps. You've made sure everything was up to date, you have tested for conflicts, and you've reviewed your log files. And the problem still isn't fixed. So now it's time to go visit your friendly neighborhood support moderators. Seems simple enough, right? Hold up just a second. Here are a couple more tips that will help you with the support process to make things faster both for your moderator and for you. Tip number 1, be specific. iTheme stopped working doesn't tell your support moderator anything and just leads to more questions and a lot fewer answers. iThemes actually has a lot of plugins and themes, none of which are just called iThemes. So be sure to mention specifically what plugin or theme you're having an issue with. And what exactly stopped working? There are 31 setting topics in iTheme Security Pro, each with their own settings within them. So which one stopped working? A specific feature within them? Basically, just provide as much detail as possible about the issue you're having. And remember all those troubleshooting steps you just went through? Include them in your ticket. Tell your moderator anything that you've already tried. Tell them what version of WordPress you're running and what version of the theme or plugin that you're having trouble with. And those log files you downloaded or got from your host, attach those to the ticket as well. Make sure to add any other relevant information, including your site's URL. Including all of this information in your ticket helps out not only your moderator, but you. Thanks for tuning in to WordPress Troubleshooting Tips from iThemes. If you have any other ideas for classes you'd like to see, hit us up and let us know. Until next time.